All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2, Screentime. We're off to a pretty good start, I think you might say. Jomana, thank you for joining me.
Scott,
Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having us. Good morning, everyone. And I'd like to first start by congratulating you on such a successful inaugural event for Screentime.
Thank you very much. Before we get started on some questions I have for you, I'd love for you to explain to our audience a little bit about the Red Sea Film Foundation and perhaps the seminal festival that you've created.
Of course. So the Red Sea Film Foundation is a cultural institution that was founded in Saudi Arabia in 2019. Of course, this was right pre-COVID and pandemic. So as everyone else did, we went back into our offices and we went back home and we started strategizing. But of course, we became recognizable for our flagship event, the Red Sea Film Festival. However, the foundation is much bigger than just an event and the glitz and glam of the red carpet. The foundation comprises of 4 main pillars, the festival being one of them, Red Sea Labs, Red Sea Fund, and Red Sea Souk. And this is how we really empower, nurture, and support the film ecosystem in the region and the wider region as overall.
That's great. Last night I talked a little bit about the globalization of the entertainment industry. Give us a peek into what's happening in the region from your perspective. How are the cultural and economic changes adapting with the entertainment and the cinematic business?
Well, Scott, I think let's first start by saying that back in 2017, there were no cinemas in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Not a single screen in Saudi Arabia. This was reintroduced after a 35-year ban. Therefore, the social and economic transformation is real. And as a film foundation, we're simply trying to become a part of that and enhance and empower that ecosystem that is going to yield both economic but cultural results. We believe that there's a real opportunity right now in the market. Last year at the festival, we had over 40,000 people attend and 5,000 filmmakers. Not only that, through our film fund, we have supported over 206 films, 8 of them participating at the Cannes Film Festival this year, and 8 of them in selection. And again, these are not simply Saudi films. These are films from the wider MENA region, from Africa, and we're now very quickly expanding into Asia. The cultural transformations are real. The talent is there, raw, authentic talent. And ultimately, I think what unites us all as people in the filmmaking or content creation industry is the passion for storytelling. Yeah. And this is what exists in a manner that is unprecedented. These are stories that have never been told. These are stories that have never been supported. And for us as a foundation and as a wider ecosystem, in collaboration with international partners and the private sector, what we're trying to do right now is provide the technical capability and the right infrastructure to support these stories to be told, not simply for a regional platform, but also for international platforms.
By the way, and I mentioned this also last night, I encourage you to get out there and talk to people because I believe, and someone will fact check me on this, that the conversation happened at a Bloomberg event in New York City between CEO or chairman of AMC Cinemas and someone on the Saudi side, which led to the sort of evolution of cinemas in the region, in the kingdom. So get out there, do deals, do partnerships. How and why is Saudi Arabia strategically positioned well for the region to be a gateway for content evolution, for cultural exchange?
We have a strategic geographical position, but we also, in line with that, we have a strategic transformation that's taking place, which is Vision 2030, yeah, which is allowing for the economic and social and cultural transformation, which means social reforms, which means being able to become a cultural hub for creativity and innovation. And again, this is what, I'll go back and reference what we've done through the Red Sea Film Fund and Red Sea Film Lab. There was an idea that was created by a Jordanian team at one of our lab workshops in Jeddah. That idea very quickly was turned into reality through the support, mentorship, and nurturing of the brilliant team at the Red Sea Film Foundation. And this film, earlier this year, was at the Cannes Film Festival.
Amazing.
So again, this is how we become a gateway. Another example of that is a Sudanese film that we supported earlier in the year that was also at the Cannes Film Festival competition. So these are, not only are we becoming a gateway, but we're also becoming a hub and a launching pad for creativity and innovation.
We talked a little bit about the cinema, the evolution of cinema, and the rapid growth since the conversations in 2017, the launch. How has that influenced the cultural landscape within Saudi Arabia and just generally the entertainment industry? Is it creating a groundswell of interest in the business and for more films to come in? What have you seen over the last 6 or 7 years?
Well, over the past 6 and 7 years, you've had 0 cinemas and 0 screens to 600 screens. We're aiming for 2,500 screens by 2030. Forecasted box office revenues also forecasted at $1 billion by 2030. This is a massive transformation. This is the economic return that we're hoping for. But it also provides an opportunity for content creators, given the massive investment that is being undertaken by various members and entities of the ecosystem, be it the Red Sea Foundation, be it NEOM, be it ULA, who are all investing in the infrastructure through sound stages, through film rebate. The film rebate in Saudi Arabia I think is at the highest right now in the world at 40%. We're also providing master classes, workshops, but what that allows us to do is that for the very first time, these authentic stories through direct voices are being represented. Usually, and I think the region has always been an importer as opposed to an exporter. For the very first time, we are consuming our own content, and that's very much in line with various consumer trends and behaviors that are affecting all of our media organizations. And it's not simply limited to film. This is across the board, from film to news to entertainment to gaming. We need to understand audience preferences. And I think this is the importance of being able to work with young content creators. I'll tell you a very exciting story. So one of the companies that started back in 2011 is a production company called Tilfaz. And these were 2 young men who decided to leverage user-generated platforms, especially YouTube, to start creating content. Content that was really appealing to them, content that was culturally relevant, content that they wanted to watch, because again, all they used to consume is what we all consume, which was the either international or the very much traditional content. And one more aspect that I have to add is that this is a very young, dynamic population. 70% of the population is under the age of 35.
Wow.
Therefore, the content that they're consuming is very different from the content that my parents used to consume. So these 2 young men started creating short-form content and uploading it onto YouTube, and immediately witnessed massive reach and very high viewership. Fast forward to 2023, they now have an 8-film deal with Netflix. Their movie Sattar outperformed international blockbusters in the box office, including Avatar. They have had 2 films premiere at TIFF. And of course, Sattar premiered at the Red Sea Film Festival last year. So this is really the trajectory and the transformation of film and content creation in Saudi Arabia. This is still a very young company that was bootstrapping for a good 8 years prior to it starting to raise funds from various VC entities, one of them being SRMG. We've recently invested in them just because we saw a real opportunity and a production company that is scalable. And that's what's rare currently in the market. There are several opportunities, but the challenges are also there.
Talk a little bit about some of the other challenges. Financing would be one, right?
Financing, in the sense, there are several entities that are looking for various financing opportunities. However, the challenges exist in the value chain. The IP ideation, the script writing, the screenwriting, the writer's room, post-production, pre-production, the infrastructure. That is what's currently being developed. And that's why international partnerships are so important for us. And that's why this ecosystem that we're creating is also so important for us, because it will allow us to overcome these challenges that are really opportunities, given that, again, the talent is there, the stories are a tale, it's simply about the expertise.
Last question for you. You just mentioned international partnerships. You at SRMG have been active in this space. Talk a little bit about how those help accelerate collaboration, growth, and frankly, cultural exchange across regions.
Absolutely. Wearing my other hat as CEO of SRMG, we have one of our largest partnerships with Bloomberg, which we're very excited and proud of. It has allowed us to bring a new and different offering to 300 million Arabic speakers in the region who have a very big appetite for insights, data, and financial news. So that's only one stream that we've kind of pursued in terms of international partnerships. 2 days ago, again, something that we're very proud of, we launched our partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery, which is a new free-to-view platform with one of the most prominent production houses in the world. But again, I think the traditional model would have simply been to license or to syndicate. What we're doing right now is creating original content that can speak to the relevancy of our culture and that can speak to audiences' preferences, demands, and requirements. With Warner Brothers Discovery, part of this deal would not only allow us to localize their content, but also to enter co-production deals. And that's really what matters to us most. Co-production means that we get to train the next generation of content creators. Co-production means that we work with the best international expertise and talent and bring them to the region and have our talent work on set, learning on the go. But this is just the start. There are various opportunities for international partners to come in, be it to benefit from the film rebate, be it to benefit from the box office numbers. And I think Saudi Arabia was the only market and was the only box office to fully recover post-COVID and to double its revenue, in contrast to global decline in box office. So there's a real opportunity there, and there's a real story there. It's not simply a story to watch, but it's a story to be involved in.
Yes, and for all of you, doors open for partnerships. Thank you for being a partner. Thank you for being here, and good luck with continued growth.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.